Thank you very much. As the spokesperson has already given you an orientation of the area. So if you see the first slide, if you can go to the first slide, I'll just tilt a bit so that I'll be able to go along with you. If you can go to the map slide. If you see, this is the, if this is the crow distance from the Badori Bulge at the place, it is approximately 100 kilometers. And on the road and tracks, it is more than 200 kilometers. But that is from the tip of the Badori Bulge. From any nearest Pakistani town, let's say it's Bagh, it's even much more. So what we are trying to do here is to walk you through facts of this incident rather than the allegations that are being made. So if the allegation is that it's the Pakistan-based so-called terrorists did this incident, then you need to be cognizant of where it lies, how far deep it is inside the illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. If you see the terrain on this map slide, you will see that it's quite hilly. It's not the sort of terrain which is very friendly, and not a sort of terrain where the all-weather fair roads exist. It's mostly on 4x4 and the horseback that the travel is being done over there. If you go to the next slide, so there's a track, then comes the road. So approximately, if you see, it takes about, we can estimate that about 30 minutes for someone to move from the incident site to the police station. So if the incident, as per the FIR, was from 1350 and it is 1420 hours. So how it was humanly possible that within 10 minutes, the police was there, evaluated the situation, went back and registered the FIR. And if we see this FIR closely, there are 3 points. The time factor, the time aspect has been, I think, repeatedly, clearly enunciated. There are 2 more things that I would like to draw your attention. That the FIR lodged after 10 minutes states that these were across the border. The handlers of this incident were across the border. So they established it in 10 minutes. While the incident was going on, before that, the intelligence or the security was so, we can say, flat that the incident happened, there was no intelligence, but within 10 minutes, they had such complete intelligence that they were established that it was across the border handlers. And secondly, it says over there that there was indiscriminate firing. However, we also know that a consistent narrative was made, is being made, that this act of terrorism was done on base of religion. That the Muslims, that it was the segregation was done and Hindus were killed. So I would request if you can go to the next slide. Now, if you please see this clip, which has been made at the time of incident. Please run it. Because the facts speak for themselves. On the next clip, he is the brother of the Muslim victim of this act that happened of the killing of the innocent citizens over there. So why this self-made narrative is being made? That is a question that has already been raised by the Honorable Deputy Prime Minister. If you go to the next slide, you see that immediately after incident at about 3 o'clock, the social media, the particular social media handlers in India started breaking the news. At 3:05, exactly at 305 on the social media, a handle which is closely affiliated with their agencies, put the blame on Pakistan. It says Pakistan attacked Pahalgam through its proxies. Then the electronic media also comes into play. At 3:30, the electronic media is also saying that it's the Pakistan that is being done. The allegations of Pakistan being responsible started coming within minutes, while the evidence is still awaited. And on the next, this social media post, which is at around 4 o'clock, you can see, if you go to the previous slide, if you see at 4 o'clock, they were sure and they started saying that it is the Islamist terrorists that have killed tourists. So the narrative of the Islamist terrorists, while we are absolutely clear that terrorism has no religion. There are no Islamic terrorists, there are no Christian terrorists, and there are also no even Hindu terrorists, because terrorists have no religion. If you go to the next slide, I'll draw your attention towards that these social media accounts that started propagating that it's Pakistan, it's Islamic terrorism, they have been in play in this business of terrorism much before. Here you can see that Mianwali, 4th November, once the attack occurred. So you see at one day before, the same social media accounts that are active in Pahalgam, the Indian social media accounts affiliated with their agency, one day before, that social media account is saying, tomorrow is a big day, so going to bed early. You can see that. And next day, it says, it quote tweets and says, good morning, Mianwali. And there we see the Mianwali terror incident being done by the Fitnal Khawarij. So this is a collusion with the Fitnal Khawarij, with the terror incident that happened in Mianwali on 4th of November 2023. Then comes 6th October 2024, the attack on our Chinese friends in Karachi. Before the attack, there is, from the same handle, there is a tweet which says, big day in the next few hours. And then it says, huge blast in Karachi, more details to follow. And then the targeted ID explosion in Karachi near airport, car carrying engineer, foreigner, perhaps Chinese. So there you see the collusion for the world to see that how the choreography is being done of projecting, predicting that we are going to hit, where, when the attack happens, and then its glorification on social media. And if you follow the media, then the electronic media automatically comes within minutes into play. And same thing you are seeing in Pahalgam. Why I'm making this point? Because if you do this forensic, this common sense forensic, you see that what happened also in Pahalgam. Moving forward, very recently, the Jafar Express, same account. Keep your eyes on Pakistan today and tomorrow. And then comes big Jafar Express train carrying Pakistani forces personnel from Quetta to Peshawar attack. The same accounts that are active carrying the narrative of the Islamist terrorists, Pakistan being responsible, on play over here. But let's see, if we want to understand what happened at Pahalgam, that what are the people there in India and Kashmir saying. Let's see what they are saying, who are actually over there. The questions that the Honorable Deputy Prime Minister has raised, they are being echoed also within from India, because the facts are there for the people to see, hear them out. These questions that we are raising, that we are thinking, that the world is thinking, The most loud voice, in fact, is coming inside from India. The people who are seeing and watching what's happening. Now, if you go to the next slide, is it first time that it's happening? No. There is a litany of using terror incidents for political ends. This is important, that these terror incidents have an objective, a political objective. We saw last time, in case of Pulwama, that how the terror incident in February was used for a political objective for change of status of Kashmir. And we are seeing now that a terror incident, that an incident that happened in Pahalgam is being used for the purpose of Indus Water Treaty, for distracting the Pakistan's continuous and very hardly fought and won war on the terrorism, the CT effort of Pakistan, and the efforts, the successful efforts for reviving the economy. And there is a list of these incidents. I'll just give you examples of two incidents. If you go on the next slide, so the history speaks for itself, that what happened in the Chatti Singhpura 2000, exactly 25 years ago. Are you listening? After a quarter of a century, it's the same playbook being repeated again and again. Using incidents like Pahalgam, like Chatti Singhpura, like Pulwama for political objectives. If you see, the history also tells us what was actually Pulwama. Please listen carefully to the then governor of the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. Blame Pakistan to win, to take credit, win elections. Now, there is another important fact that needs to be considered in the situation that the region is facing today, and that is the phenomenon of the fake encounters using the illegally held Pakistani prisoners in India. We have the reports, we have the information that hundreds of Pakistanis being held by the Indians in different jails and locations are used and fake encounters projected as terrorists and infiltrators. I'll give you just few examples. This boy, Zia Mustafa, he was a minor in October 2013. He was taken in custody while he inadvertently crossed, shot down in a fake encounter on 14th October 2021. Listen to this story as told by his family. I will now give you two very recent examples post Pahalgam incident. If you see this slide, there you can see two unfortunate Kashmiri. One is Muhammad Farooq and Muhammad Deen. They are both elderly. They were both elderly 50 years ago, 50 years plus. Just few days ago, on 24th April, in their residence of Uri, and they were killed in a fake encounter by the Indians. If you see the dead bodies, that the Indians showed that they are infiltrators. The Muhammad Farooq, he is wearing joggers. His clothes are absolutely clean. And what they have put beside, after killing him, beside him, is a pistol. Is this the infiltrator where there is infested with regular forces going to take on a regular army, and those security forces wearing joggers and a pistol that they planted along with his body? On the other side, look at the shoes. He's wearing mukeshan, shining shoes. You kill innocent, you plant evidence on them, and then you call them infiltrators? And what are these village people telling? That are they terrorists? Are they infiltrators? Listen to them. This is what they are trying to fabricate even after post-Pahalgam, that the Pakistan is sending infiltrators and terrorists. You kill innocent people yourself. You plant weapons, and then you claim them as infiltrators. You claim them that the Pakistani security forces have sent them. Ask yourself that who is doing state-sponsored terrorism over here. Next example. This is 23rd April, just few days ago, a fake encounter that happened in Kupwara. Please hold your breath and see what they do once they are planting, once they are making their bodies, how they mutilate those bodies. Listen to this. Soldiers of a professional army hacking the head of a body of an innocent person and showing that these are the terrorists. This happened on 23rd of April in Kupwara. And that's why, if you go to the next slide, once you keep on seeing on the Indian media and their so-called evidence that this person has been found and this person has been found, from where are these persons coming? These are these Pakistani citizens, the Kashmiri citizens, who are held in different jails, in different locations. Like that poor boy Zia Mustafa and many other incidents that are on record, who are brought out of the jails, killed in fake encounters, tortured, forced to give confessional statements, posed as terrorists. This is the facts, this is the reality of what's going on behind all. I would like to say few words and take a few minutes on the state-sponsored, the Indian-sponsored and abetted terrorism in Pakistan. Let's start with what the Indians themselves say about it. Please listen. All of you are familiar with this Indian serving officer. So these were the leaders of multiple terrorist groups operating in Balochistan, who, having after surrendered, are revealing in detail that how they were funded, they were helped, and how their sponsorship was done by India. In the next slide, you can see a terrorist operating and sponsored by India, Aslam Achu, in Indian hospital, and an Indian provided passport of Afghanistan office. In next slide, you can see that once the Jafar Express happened, the internationally recognized terrorist organization BLA, his spokesperson, where was he sitting? He was sitting on Indian channels, wearing a mask, coming on multiple Indian channels, and glorification of a terrorist sect, which, by the way, the state of India has not shown any concern or condemned so far. And they are glorifying it, taking its spokesperson over here. This is again very interesting. This footage that the Indian TV channels showed was made by the terrorists once actually the Jafar Express ID was blown. So this was only available with terrorists. And who are the first electronic channels who started showing it? It's the Indian channels. See it. This is vehement, clear glorification of terrorism being done in Pakistan. If you move to the next slide, you will find that not long ago, it was Pakistan, as repeatedly has been telling this, and this is the evidence that Pakistan put in front in this room on Indian sponsored and abetted terrorism in Pakistan once the transnational killings of Pakistanis was done. Listen to this clip also. And is it only restricted to Pakistan? No, it's not. It's transnational. Listen to what the other parts and the leaders of the other countries are saying. So once we say that we have got nothing to do with Pahalgam, and once we say the only way out is an independent, credible, transparent investigation, We have strong reasons, empirical evidence and facts on the basis of which we are saying. Now, see, if you come to the next slide, if you remember that once the National Security Council issued its declaration on 24th April, it clearly said that Indian attempts to inject volatility in the environment along Pakistan's eastern border is aimed at distracting Pakistan's counter-terrorism efforts. And on night 25th, 26th, within 48 to 72 hours, its manifestation was clear. The largest tashkeel of fitna al-Khawarij terrorists was taken down. 71 were sent to hell. This proxy of the Indians, the largest tashkeel, was launched, and alhamdulillah, the Pakistan security forces and the intelligence agencies, being vigilant, took them down. Because we have credible intelligence that Indians, post-Pahalgam, have tasked all their proxies to undertake terrorist acts everywhere in Pakistan, whether these proxies are operating in Balochistan and along the other parts of Pakistan. One of the clear evidence of these proxies and these cells I presented in detail yesterday. Just to refresh your minds, I am going to request you to listen to just one audio of a serving major of the Indian Army talking with a terrorist whom he is handling inside Pakistan. Please listen to this. So what all we are showing you here, that independent, transparent, neutral, credible investigators, if they see this, this is what they need to see. This all is verifiable. This all is there for to see. It can be forensically checked that there is this serving Indian major. And this is few days ago. And if you listen carefully, what is he saying? He is saying we are operating a terror network from Lahore to Balochistan. He is saying we are here for years and we are going to be here for years. He is saying money is no problem. If this small terror cell, that one man cell, he is offering him millions and giving him millions, just imagine how many billions are they ready and are they paying to Fitna al-Khawarij and the terrorist organizations operating in Balochistan as their proxy. Just imagine that how much money is being paid over there. And is it not a clear, vivid example of what actually terror financing means? This is for the world to see. This is for the world to check. Against all this terrorism that is sponsored and abetted by the Indians in Pakistan, because of it, if you go to the next slide, you will see the figures. Since January 24, Pakistan has suffered 3,700 terror incidents. And you talk to us about your incidents that are happening without any evidence, and you put those incidents blame on Pakistan. There is verifiable evidence that there are 3,700 incidents of terror that are happening over here. We have shown you a few parts of that how is it happening, who is sponsoring them, who is glorifying them, who is abetting them. In these incidents, the people of Pakistan has suffered 3,896 casualties. There are 1,314 shaheeds, civilians, law enforcement. There are 2,582 injured. And against this, Your law enforcement, your security forces, intelligence, armed forces are waging 192 operations per day. We have killed more 1,666 terrorists. This is the terrorism that has been abetted and sponsored by India. It's for the whole world to see, they feel it, its effects. And here we must be cognizant that Pakistan is the last bulwark that is standing against this scourge of terrorism, of this creeping, perverted ideology, which is getting its notion of victory somewhere else. And it's the people of Pakistan, its armed forces, its law enforcement, which is standing as the last bulwark, not only for the sake of Pakistan and its people, but for the sake of the whole global community. Just imagine if this creeping, perverted ideology takes its root in a country of 240 million plus, what sort of disaster consequences it will have for the whole world. And India, for its short-term, myopic objectives, is facilitating this terrorism. It's abetting this perverted, creeping ideology. Why? For its short-term political objectives. So this is important to understand. Now, a few words about the oppression that is going on with the Muslims and in Kashmiris. We're not going to talk about what's been happening for last more than 70 years. I'm just going to show you what's happening since Pahalgam. Please watch this. That how the houses, please run this. That how these are being bulldozed, blasted. There are more than 50 houses in Kashmir alone have been bulldozed and blasted on flimsy charges of being affiliated or being part of the Pahalgam. More than 2,000 people have been taken into custody. Thousands are being harassed. This is what's happening right now.
नायब वजीर आजम और डीजी ISPR अहम प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस कर रहे हैं। डीजी ISPR का कहना है कि पहलगाम वाक़े को फौरी तौर पर मुसलमानों से जोड़ दिया गया। हम वाज़ेह कर चुके हैं कि दहशतगर्दी का कोई मजहब नहीं होता। तर्जुमान पाक फौज का कहना है कि इल्जाम तराशी के बजाय भारत को सवालों के जवाब देने होंगे।
Now, I talked earlier that there is a planned and choreographed campaign of Islamist terrorism, but the facts speak differently. This is what some sane people are saying, that the tourists who came in taxis belonging to Muslims, they stayed in hotels owned by Muslims, they ate food cooked by Muslims, they rode ponies owned by Muslims, they did trekking guided by Muslims. When terrorists started their attack, they were covered and protected by Muslims. The first person to die defending was a Muslim, and you heard his brother. Did you not hear his brother? The first person who died protecting those tourists? You kindly next slide pe rahe. And so I'm trying to make you understand that what these saner people over there, they are saying they were the first who came to help for Muslims. The pony owners, the riders, the ploughback riders, first aid and rescue was done by Muslims. Ambulances were driven by Muslims. They were treated in hospitals by Muslim doctors and nurses. And everywhere on social media, we see that all Muslims are terrorists. So this is the orchestrated narrative that is being played. Now see this Muslim MLA from Bihar. Please now run this. Who raised his voice against this Muslim discrimination. So if you speak otherwise, go to jail. Even if you are an MLA. And what's happening to the Muslims and Kashmiris? Please run this. And I just said earlier also that terrorism has no religion. There are no Muslim terrorists, there are no Christian terrorists, there are no even Hindu terrorists. So why an effort is being made to label the whole community, the Muslims, as terrorists? Is this part of some agenda? Is this part of that hate that systematically is being put in a society? That saffronization that is trying to be done, whose manifestation you saw that the Muslims and dogs not allowed? And where did we see that the world conscious and the world memory remembers those posters? And also that what ensued after that, the genocide and the suffering that ensued after that. So the irrationality that you see playing and the rational minds grapple to understand, it stems from somewhere perhaps over here. Lastly, those who are trying to tell within the India that there is something wrong, that something is amiss, what's happening there? Please listen to this. She is just pointing out common facts that all these incidents are happening in once the BJP government is in power. She's trying to just connect the dots, and there you go, and the big law, hand of the law comes. And what they are trying to do for the voices that are coming from outside the world, if you go to the next slide, what's happening outside? They have blocked all digital YouTube, digital news channels of Pakistan, so that the voice of Pakistan of fact and reason, explaining what's happening, what are the actual facts, doesn't go to its citizens. They are blocking all websites, X handles, other handles who are talking about facts. This is what's right now happening on hourly basis. Why they are stifling it? Because they are afraid of truth. They don't want to face the reality. Lastly, I would just say that this tells us something very important, that what the Indians are trying to do is that there is a process of internalization of their external problems and externalization of their internal problems. Kashmir is an external problem, and they are internalizing it. Terrorism, extremism is an internal problem of India. Instead of handling it, instead of addressing it, they are externalizing it. This cycle is manifesting itself also in this Pahalgam incident. Thank you very much.
We'll open the floor for questions. You moderate, Professor, with your permission. Yeah, please. The floor is open.
Mona Khan from Independent Urdu. My question is from dgispr. Sir, what response and options are available to Pakistan in wake of your yesterday press briefing?
Please.
We are monitoring the situation very carefully in all domains. And accordingly, our responses and countermeasures in all domains are ready. And as you must have seen in the declaration of the National Security Council, the statement of the government of Pakistan that came last night also, that there will be decisive and assured actions. I will not go into the details, but rest assured, the people of Pakistan, with its full resolve, will defend the territorial integrity and sovereignty of Pakistan at all cost.